Hey guys, Coach Deniz with Swimmer Strength with another tip of the week. Last week, I reminded you of how important it is to execute movements with perfect technique, and the way we utilize bracing mechanics in the weight room and on dryland can be one of our greatest technical assets. Throughout the majority of strength, power, and core exercises, it is important that we learn how to properly brace the core with a maintained neutral spine. What is bracing? In short, bracing is increased stiffness around the core and the trunk. Now, how do we brace? By contracting the muscles surrounding the abdominal region and the trunk. Take a deep breath in to fill up the belly with air and contract the core like you're trying to protect yourself from a punch in the gut while keeping the rib cage from opening up. At this point, we're not letting any air pass out through our lungs until we have about completed the entire movement. Whether we are performing a squat, a push-up, a plank, or a pull-up, the brace is imperative. So, during isometric movements like planks, the brace always needs to be engaged while being able to take comfortable breaths without compensating for any movements, especially from the spine. During regular movements, we're holding our breath to increase abdominal pressure and to stiffen the spine, and the breath is held down through the eccentric and isometric components until we get through the toughest part of the concentric phase. This technique is called the Valsalva maneuver and becomes increasingly important with heavier loads because it increases abdominal pressure to protect the spine and making it easier to control heavier weights. The more advanced we get on land, the more this will become second nature. However, new and young swimmers have no idea what this is or how this can be an asset for them during a squat or a push-up, nor do they know how to properly perform an abdominal brace. Therefore, I highly encourage coaches to teach young swimmers how to maintain a brace throughout the sticky point of a movement, then to breathe out before taking another deep breath and holding it for the next repetition. So for many young swimmers, doing 10 to 30 perfect bodyweight squats this way is plenty of load if done properly, especially if the eccentric phase is slower than the concentric phase. And here's a side tip. All energy transfers from the core, so if the core is braced and stiff, the energy will transfer much more effectively, creating greater power output. For a full 20 minutes core tutorial, please subscribe to the Swimmer Strength newsletter found on the website swimmerstrength.com. Next week, we'll talk about age and training, but until then, be sure to brace up during dryland training, and we'll see you next week.